Picture this. You see nothing but darkness around you, and you wake up to find yourself in a cart, surrounded by several bound prisoners on the way to the chopping block. One of them is even gagged. The gagged one, you're told, is the leader of a rebellion that killed the king. You don't know why you're among this number. Perhaps you found ill favor with a noble. Perhaps you were framed for a crime you did not commit. Or maybe you just really like carts and decided to hop on. Now that I think about it, that would explain why they don't have you on the roster later. Anyway, you're led to the chopping block, but just before the axe makes friends with your neck, a dragon appears for the first time in 1,000 years. The city erupts into chaos, and you escape with your fellow prisoners. Because why would you side with the people who tried to kill you 3.5 minutes ago? You follow one of your fellow prisoners to his family's house, and they tell you that you should go inform the nearby lord of the dragon attack. You do that, and while you're doing that, another dragon appears and begins to attack the town. You go out and slay it, and after it has fallen, its very soul is absorbed into you. An ancient council high atop the tallest mountain in the realm calls for you to meet them and announce that you are Dovahkiin, the Dragonborn, a warrior of legend destined to save the world from the return of the evil draconic horde. Except no, almost none of that happened, because while you were in the first town, instead of reporting to the nearby lord that Godzilla is attacking, you decided instead to help out the local minstrel untangle a love triangle that he's in with a local village girl. I mean, sure, you're a warrior of legend destined to save all of mortal kind and the lives of thousands depend on your defeating these dragons, but I guess I can help this one lady I don't know take out this other group of people I don't know because she asked really nice. This is an issue I have with how side quests are handled in most games. The disconnect between the importance of the main narrative and my ability to go off the beaten path with seemingly no consequence. Dragons are attacking the world and spreading absolute havoc in the middle of a civil war that's tearing the country apart. But, you know what, I'll get around to it eventually. I've got Thieves Guild business to attend to. Because it's true, there are absolutely no consequences for you not dealing with the world-ending crisis that's been laid out before you. Alduin will never come to you, the Darkspawn won't attack Denerim until you're good and ready, and the robots won't attack the Resistance camp unless you give the go-ahead, so you may as well fight the funny karate man because who the hell is gonna stop you? Just once, I want to spend several hours doing nothing but side content before going to help the village being attacked in the main campaign, thinking that it's no big deal, only to go to the village and find that it's been completely destroyed because I took my sweet time getting there. The only example I can think of this actually happening is in Mass Effect 2, where you leave your ship and the Normandy is attacked by the Collectors, at which point all members of your crew, save for one, are kidnapped. The longer you take to assault the enemy base, the more of the Normandy's crew will be turned to paste, so you need to get there fast. I can't think of any other game that does this, and I wish more would. If you know of any examples of this type of attitude towards guests, please comment down below, I'm begging you. In RPGs, I have a tendency to roleplay as myself in whatever fictional world I inhabit. Depending on the character's backstory, I might make different choices than I would in the real world based on events in my character's life, but for the most part, I create an avatar of myself in these games. Because that's the type of gaming experience I want to have. I want to inhabit this world. Side quests are meant to aid in the immersion of the player in the world, but ironically, they tend to pull me further out of it. Maybe it makes me a self-centered asshole, but I often don't want to help these people. Or, to put it another way, I'm focusing on the bigger picture, and the main journey is of such importance that I don't have time to deal with the smaller problems. I feel more compelled to deal with the main threat and the journey that's been pushed upon me. If I don't feel that compulsion, it could be because the main story isn't very compelling, and I want to distract myself. Or, I don't see a reason to care. And I need a reason to care. I always prioritize personal quests for my party members because I'm helping out a friend. It has more meaning to me personally. I enjoy it when a game gives me legit reasons to follow side quest threads for more reason than just the meta knowledge that I'll get more XP and loot. Unless the equipment or loot I'll be getting from the side quest has some sort of personal value to me, I don't feel inclined to finish some arbitrary task just to get a cool item. But if that item is the sword that is synonymous with my friend's soul and he feels lost and shameful without it by his side, then fuck yeah, let's go get that shit. I'll give you a couple of examples of games who go about side quests the right way. In The Witcher, doing side quests is literally your job. You have the main narrative, but Geralt himself is a monster hunter for hire. The whole point of Witchers is solving people's problems for profit, so I felt more compelled to hear people out and go out of my way to hunt down more side quests. Because that's who I am. I'm a freelancer and freelancers gotta get paid. Dragon Age 2 does something similar. The entire first act you're stuck living in the slums and your only way out is to go on an expedition into the deep roads with a dwarven merchant. But he won't take you with him unless you can invest 100 gold into the venture and become a full-fledged partner, so you need to do side quests in order to make that money. In Acts 2 and 3, a majority of the quests you can take on are follow-ups to the quests that were done in Act 1, so you're already personally invested and you want to see it through. Oh, holy shit, guys, I think Dragon Age 2 is good, actually. On more than one occasion when I've told people that when I play Skyrim, I mostly focus on the main story, they tell me that I'm playing it wrong, that it's not the point of the game. Setting aside the idea of playing a game wrong, you want to know what the bitch of it is? Even by my own criteria, I still have not beaten Skyrim. I feel like everyone has at least one game like this, a game they're very familiar with the beginning of. I feel like I could probably do the attack on Helgen blindfolded at this point, due to just how many times I've sat down and told myself that this time I'm gonna really focus and finish Skyrim. And then I get distracted by something else and I start playing a different game. And then about a year later, I sit myself down and tell myself that this time I'm gonna really focus and finish Skyrim. And then I get distracted by something else and I start playing a different game. And then about a year later, I sit myself down and tell myself, you get the idea. The issue that keeps popping up is that I fall into one of two pit traps. Either I'll focus on the main quest and get such a sense of FOMO on what the game actually has to offer that I stop playing, or I get loaded down with a whole bunch of side quests, get overwhelmed with all of them, and focus so much on the side content that I lose all sense of who I am, what I'm doing, and why I'm doing it. Typically, if I lose track of why the main character is doing what they're doing, that's when I lose interest and give up. This goes for all games, books, shows, everything. Now, to Skyrim's credit, at least it has a post-game option. Finishing the main quest and then going out into the world and seeing how else I can help people is a viable option. A viable option that too few games allow. Often games will either not have a post-game option, or a majority of the side quests become unavailable once the main game has been completed. This is often conveyed to the player with the classic, "Are you ready to start the final level?" message, where you're encouraged to finish up any loose ends in side quests before continuing. This, to me, has always been a momentum killer. Like, the final boss is just waiting in the next room, dicking around on his phone, waiting for your schedule to line up with his. Like, yeah, I know that giant floating black castle has somehow appeared at every moment in time simultaneously when it was summoned by an evil queen to siphon power from the most evil and destructive creature in existence. But I gotta go help this lady plant some trees, so... yeah, I'm sure I'll get around to it eventually. So, let's rewind back to waking up in that cart. The story of Skyrim has an engaging enough hook that it drives me forward. Dragons appear, dragons bad, kill dragons. But unless the little old lady who needs help picking her begonias is also secretly my grandmother and wants to teach me about a sacred sword technique passed on through a family's generations, I'm not going to be stopping in my tracks for her. I don't care how lovely and well-designed her bouquet is, it's going to look the same as everything else when a dragon's breath burns her house down. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, make sure to click the like button and comment down below on any thoughts you might have. Or if you didn't like it, make sure to comment down below telling me how wrong I am. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe so you can continue to tell me how wrong I am in future videos. Speaking of side quests though, I just released a video on Saints Row 2 and that game is full of side content, so you should probably check that one out. And any other videos if you like watching. Anyway, thanks again for pointing your eyeballs at this video. Toodles!